Hello and welcome back to the Andrew Plays channel. We are back to continue simulating F1 2021 career mode. If you haven't seen the last episode, I'll leave a link down below. We simulated seasons 1 through to 5, and there's been a lot happen with driver changes and a surprising winner in the final season. If you haven't seen that, well, surprising winner might not be the right word. Surprising dominance is more the correct term. So if you haven't seen that, do go back and check it out. Link will be down below, because in just a moment you're going to be getting some spoilers. We're going to be simulating today from the end of end of season 5 through to the end of career mode season 10. So, as you also may or may not know, we ended the last episode knowing that aerodynamics, chassis and powertrain are all subject to regulation changes. When we look at the progress history of the R&D, you can see a lot of teams seemingly have maxed out their cars because they flatlined for a lot of the season. So it's going to be interesting to see how the teams have adapted to the new regulation changes. Are Mercedes going to remain the dominant team? Although, are they the dominant team anymore? And you know how teams like Alfa Romeo, who've only just got to this level of being maxed out, the same as Williams, how are they going to progress for the rest of the seasons with these regulation changes? How have they adapted? Are they prepared for these? We'll find out in just a moment. So here we are for the start of season 6. As you can see, Haas is still me and Mick Schumacher, although he's 99 rated. I wonder how many, although 27 focus. I wonder if we can see other drivers' stats. I'm not sure we can. Can we see it in driver profile? We cannot, because that's the wrong thing. I don't think we can see other drivers' stats in this mode. Let's have a first quick look if there's been any big changes in the driver lineups. There doesn't appear to be much going on, other than George Russell has disappeared. He's been replaced by Jack Aitken and Sonoda at Williams. So no more George Williams in F1 for the time being. Will he return at the mid-season? We'll have to wait and see. But then, just as important, the R&D charts. So everyone has had big drops. The team that's actually come out best from it is Aston Martin. Ferrari and Alfa Romeo dropping down quite a lot. Ferrari, of course, the team, if you haven't seen already, Ferrari are the team that won the the constructors and drivers championship last year in completely dominant fashion. So we've got a few shocks here. A big shift up in how teams are performing, and the world champions look like they might be on the ropes going into Bahrain. So let me know what you think is going to happen through these next 5 seasons. Who do you think is going to end up winning the most world titles in this next 5 seasons? Obviously, first 5 we had Mercedes win 4 of them and Ferrari won the last one. And I think drivers wise, it was Hamilton got 3, Bottas got 1, and Verstappen got 1. So it'll be interesting to see if Verstappen can bounce back despite the limitations on the car. Let me know what you think is going to happen, and let's get into it. So we're back at the end of season 6. I have accidentally skipped through to the start of season 7 because I recorded the wrong screen when I spoke about the end of season 6. So we'll still go and have a look at it though. And as you can see, Lando Norris picking up the Drivers' Championship ahead of Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc. The wins are a lot more mixed than what we've seen in recent years, because when you look here, season 1 it was almost all Mercedes. Then season 2, ridiculously overwhelming from Hamilton. A little bit more mixed in Season 3. Season 4 was pretty Hamilton dominated. Season 5 was Ferrari dominated. And then Season 6, very mixed. There's a lot of teams picking up wins. Even as far down as Lance Stroll picking up a win in Brazil. But Lando Norris picking up a first ever Drivers' Championship. What it did mean, though, is you can see how far down Fernando Alonso is for McLaren. Which meant Ferrari won the Constructors' Championship, and McLaren actually finished third behind the Red Bulls as well. Which is quite unusual for a World Driver Champion to be in a team that comes that far away from winning the Constructors' Championship. I think I read that the last time it happened was like 2001. So it's not very often that we see that happen. However, lots of changes coming in. I know Carlos Sainz retired at the end of the season. So let's have a look how it's affected it for this season. So Pierre Gasly has gone to Red Bull to replace Carlos Sainz, and Vettel and Alonso have been a straight swap between McLaren and Red Bull. And then, is there anything else that's changed? Everything else looks very similar. So it's just Red Bull getting a brand new driver lineup and McLaren getting a new partner for Lando Norris for Season 7. Let me know what you think down below. Will Lando Norris pick up another World Drivers' Championship? Also, as much as this was initially planned to be out on the Sunday following the first episode, it was delayed because I decided I'd drop weekend videos so that I can get a few more videos out into the future, because I'm having a few weeks off for a wedding, for my wedding I should say. At the time of recording this, the first episode of this has 574 views, which is absolutely insane for a creator at my level. I've got at the time of recording 60 subscribers, so to have 570 views on a video, it's a little bit mind-blowing. If you are enjoying this content, let me know. I'll do some more, see if I can think of some more experiments to do. We'll do a similar thing with my team, as was suggested in the comments of the previous video by Hacky. So we're going to take that on board, and we're going to go ahead and do a my team version of this and see how the my team version goes, and we can see what drivers we can get on board and see if that helps our team improve, and see if we can simulate our team to a World Drivers or Constructors Championship. That could be quite a fun experiment. It'll probably be in about a month's time, but it could be a very fun idea. Let's advance through to the end of Season 7, but as I say, support has been absolutely fantastic on the first episode. If you come back for the second episode, please do subscribe while you're here as well. It's massively appreciated, and there is other F1 content on the channel with the My Team and Breaking Point, so please do check that out. Gonna be having soon some episodes, some co-op career mode with Ashman. I'll leave his link down below as well, so you can go check him out. He's going to be having some F1 content out soon, I believe. Let's get into Season 7. So we've made it through to the end of Season 7 now, and we've got an interesting prospect of finding out, with basically all even cars for almost the entire season, they're all pretty much maxed out. There's only slight improvements from Alfa Romeo in there that took them slightly above Williams, slight improvements from McLaren, and I think that's a slight improvement from Ferrari in there as well. So other than Haas, really everyone else has spent the majority of the season basically at the highest level of car they possibly could. Who has that allowed to come out on top in the Drivers' Championship? It's going to be George Russell with the Drivers' Championship. taking it away from Verstappen and Leclerc. And then Lando Norris finishing 4th 1 year on. Pierre Gasly in the Red Bull. And then a very poor season for Hamilton, only picking up 47 points. Mercedes have gone off the ball, despite that they still technically have the second best car on the grid. If we have a look at season results, Russell only actually won 6 races. No, 5 races. And he's won the World Drivers' Championship. Verstappen won 6. But Verstappen, for some reason, finished 20th in the USA, which is a very odd result. Russell, 20th in Bahrain as well, to be fair. But 311 points. But then look at his teammate, Sergio Perez, 41 points. So, disaster in that respect for AlphaTauri, which, as you'd expect, Ferrari winning the Constructors' Championship for a second year in a row, but no Drivers' Championship in this half of the episode. Obviously, they won the last one in the first half with Max Verstappen. But let's have a look now what will happen with the teams when we negotiate and move on to our new season. We're just going to quickly advance through here and we'll go into new season and let's see what driver changes we've got. I don't think there was any retirements that I saw announced. The changes for the new season, we've got Giovinazzi moving to Williams. Who is replacing him at Aston Martin? It's Jack Aitken, who last year was in the Williams. So who's replaced him in the Williams? It looks like it's Tsunoda. No, it must be Tsunoda's. Who's replaced him in the Williams? Giovinazzi's replaced him in the Williams. So Giovinazzi to Williams in a straight swap for Jack Aitken. No other driver changes for Season 8. But let's see who comes out on top in Season 8. We didn't have any changes to the cars. So, in theory, it's going to be another battle between Ferrari and George Russell for the Drivers' Championship. But we'll see how it plays out. So we're here at the end of Season 8. As you can see, we've got chassis and powertrain regulations coming in. Oh, wrong button. However, in terms of the R&D history, every team has just been at max performance for the entire season, except for ourselves. But we are closing the gap now, although it hasn't particularly helped our performances. And the Drivers' Championship for the season is going to be Lando Norris, 353 points. You can see again Leclerc just missing out. He's been the nearly man a few times. Ferrari do win the Constructors' Championship once again because of Leclerc and Verstappen. Although they're not winning the Drivers' Championship, they are outperforming everyone else in terms of as a team, which is what the Constructors' Championship is about. Obviously, I didn't need to point that out to you. I mean, to be fair, Vettel 147 did a lot better than what Norris's previous teammates had done, and particularly George Russell's teammate in Sergio Perez. Russell with 246 points. Perez only getting 40, but even more shocking, Latifi 196 points. Lewis Hamilton only with 32. Lewis Hamilton has fell off the cliff since he lost the Drivers' Championship at the end of Season 5. As you see from the season results, it was very much a battle between Norris and Leclerc. Verstappen was involved in it for a while. Russell was kind of always... I don't think Russell was ever actually top of the championship. He was always kind of nearly there, but not quite getting to the top. And you can see also Lance Stroll retiring from Aston Martin. So it'll be interesting to see who he gets replaced by. Will it be somebody else on the grid? Or will it be one of the F2 drivers coming in? But he had a decent last season at Aston Martin there, 122 points, well outperforming his teammate. And Overall, a fantastic season for Lando Norris. His second Drivers' Championship, so he missed one to George Russell, but straight back in there. Finished fourth in the season in between. But you can see there, Leclerc's always hanging around that top three, but never won one. That season he was well down the order for a couple of years, but then since season 5 he just missed out to Max. That was obviously in the final race. Then he's just missed out there. Just missed out there. Just missed out in season 8. Can Leclerc get a title before the end of the simulation? Let's go and see who replaces Lance Stroll at Aston Martin and any other driver changes. Okay, so start of season 9 now. Looks like there's not been too many changes. And joining Aston Martin is Nobuhiro Matsushita, so a new driver coming into the fold. But yeah, really nobody else changing, just Stroll leaving and being replaced. Everyone else remaining the same for season 9. Can Lando Norris retain the title this year? Can Charles Leclerc stop being the Neely man? We'll find out at the end of season 9. And then we'll only have one season left to simulate. So here we are, end of season 9 now. You can see everyone did have a dip in performance, obviously, as well as the biggest. But throughout the season, Mercedes actually went top for quite a while by a decent gap to Red Bull as well. And then Red Bull eventually got right up behind them. Ferrari, most of the season were, second or third, mixing it up with the Red Bulls. But can that reflect? Have Mercedes taken back the Drivers' Championship after a number of years without it? Mick Schumacher has been replaced during the season from the looks of it. And you've got Max Verstappen. Is that a retirement from Max? He is retiring. So Ferrari, for the final season, will have a new driver. Max Verstappen retiring as Drivers' Champion. So that's 2 world titles for Max Verstappen. Not as much as you might expect from him. But he outdoes Lando Norris. I think it was decided by Australia. Leclerc again in that battle, but falling short with a new teammate. Can Leclerc become the main driver at Ferrari and actually win the Drivers' Championship? You can see again Latifi severely outperforming Hamilton. Hamilton, the highest finish he gets is 6th, whereas Latifi actually winning a couple of races in Holland and Italy. Drivers' Champion, Constructors' Championship, I say, once again Ferrari dominant in that because Vettel not able to keep up his end of McLaren, Hamilton not contributing to Mercedes, and Pierre Gasly again not being helped by Alonso. Matsushita also appears to be leaving, so Mick Schumacher replaced Matsushita halfway through the season at Aston Martin, which then resulted in Callum Ilott coming up to Haas. So interesting change there. How did that work out for Mick Schumacher? So yeah, second half of the season he did really well. He actually got a 3rd place finish in Mexico as well. So a good move for Aston Martin. To be fair, Matsushita got 3rd at Bahrain as well. But there you have it. Max Verstappen retires as a 2-time world champion. Can that lead to Ferrari winning it with Leclerc? Can they continue their constructors' dominance? Because they've won it for a number of years now. We can't actually see it. But I think the last time they didn't would probably be season 4. Really, yeah, season 4 was the last time Ferrari wouldn't have won the Drivers' Championship. So can they bring a driver in that can help them maintain that constructors' dominance? And can Leclerc win the final season? Let's go and have a look at who's going to replace Verstappen. And of course, we've got Hamilton in for the full 10 years. Can he pull something out of the bag in the final season? So back for the new season, as you can see, ILOT remaining our partner here. Progress, no resets this year, so everyone remains where they were. You would expect Red Bull to be back as the best team on the performance chart this year, but who has gone to Ferrari? It's Pierre Gasly, so he leaves Mercedes. AlphaTauri keeps George Russell. Who has gone to Red Bull then? Fernando Alonso was already there. It looks like they've gone with a new driver, Dan Ticktum. My teammate from my team. If you haven't seen that, do go check it out. But a very unproven driver going to Red Bull. Will that go their way? Can Red Bull find their way back to a Drivers' Championship? They haven't won any this at all. They had these few years where Bottas was second, but he was never really that close to being the champion. You know, nearly 200 points behind Hamilton there. And then still 70 points behind him in the season 3. So it never really paid off for Bottas leaving Mercedes. It's a lot of expectation going onto the shoulders of Dan Ticktum to try and replace that hole that's been left there and try and turn the Red Bull fortune around. My prediction is we're going to get, in the final year, Charles Leclerc is going to win the Drivers' Championship. Let me know who you think is going to win it. Final year, of course, of this simulation. Let's go and find out who's got it. And now we've reached the end of Season 10, except for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. I know I haven't done this for every single season. This is the only time I've done it. But when you see how this title race is going to be decided, you will understand. Because at the moment we have got Charles Leclerc 10 points ahead of his teammate Pierre Gasly and 11 points ahead of Lando Norris. Which means any of those three could win the title on this final weekend. Leave your predictions down below who's going to do it. I'm going to stick with my prediction from the start of this final season. Leclerc is going to do enough to come away with the World Drivers' Championship in the final season. Ferrari have already got the Constructors' Championship in the bag. But any of the three could win the Drivers' Championship. Who's it going to be? It's going to be Charles Leclerc comes out on top, winning in the. He got pole, he wins the race, absolute ease for Charles Leclerc. Finally getting his Drivers' Championship. We end with a DNF, fantastic. Which means there you have it. Charles Leclerc wins the final Drivers' Championship. Ferrari once again walk away with the Constructors' Championship. Every season since season 4, they've been dominant in that category. And finally they pick up a Drivers' World Championship for Charles Leclerc. Also, halfway through the season, we had Dan Ticktum get replaced at Red Bull by Marcus Armstrong. So we're going to have a little look at the final set of results. We'll flick through the last 10 seasons. Let me know what you think of what's happened throughout this. Oh. We don't get to. Okay. So. There we go. We don't get to see what happened. We saw Charles Leclerc won the final Drivers' Championship. We know that Ferrari won the final Constructors' Championship. If you have enjoyed part 2 of this, I know there was a lot of demand for it on the last episode. The support on the last episode was absolutely ridiculous. Let me know in the comments. Do you want to see me do this with my team and see if the my team simulation can get like myself or my teammate to a World Drivers' Championship? Can we regulate the R&D well enough to do so? It would be in a few weeks because I'm having a bit of time off, but let me know in the comments if you want to see that. subscribe for more F1 content. Let me know if you've got any other experiments you'd like to see. I'm not really sure what else I could do outside of this, but let me know if there's anything you want to see. Like, comment, subscribe, and thank you very much for watching.